These are thousands of blocks, but what if I told you that this is technically also thousands of blocks? That makes no sense, right? Well, this block regenerates forever, giving better blocks and harder enemies the further that you go. There are 10 stages, and at the end, I have to defeat the Ender Dragon. That's my goal in this 100 days. If you go on to enjoy the video, consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 100k this year, and maybe with your help, we can do it. But without further ado, I spent 100 days in one block Skyblock, and here's what happened. It's day 1 and the text was telling me to break the block below, and usually I'd be rebellious and go do something else, but in case you didn't notice, there's nothing else up here, it's just me and this block. I had no choice but to do as the game told me, and so I started expanding my island in a square-like fashion. After a while though, a pig spawned, and he looked straight into my soul, and we had an instant connection. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird how he did that. Anyways, I started making some wooden tools and breaking more blocks and began to get some amazing loot, you know? Just like top tier loot. All of the gravel blocks were falling down into the void, and then the game gave me a water bucket, so I had the genius idea, you see, I would use it to place a block below so the gravel wouldn't fall. No, I'm kidding, I got told to do that. Minecraft isn't a sandbox game anymore, I have no control over what I can do. But me and Dave over here, yeah, Dave the pig, yeah, we're in this together, you know? So it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we've reached phase 1, the plains. I figured I'm gonna need some trees, and so I started making an area to grow them and went back to breaking blocks because there's not much else to do right now, actually. And that is when I met Patrick. Yeah. I don't know why I feel the need to name these pigs. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to eat them soon, so I'm just making this harder on myself, aren't I? I'm joking. I'd never eat Dave. But I might eat Patrick. That's a nice moon. Isn't it, Patrick? Yeah. And then Adam the cow spawned. Yeah, Adam. That's his name. Look at this chest. Amazing. Amazing loot. Sassy the sheep. I'm gonna stop naming animals and start some real commentary. Anyway, so I continued. Charlie the chicken. Charlie the chicken is his name. I'm sorry. That's the I swear. That's the last one. I started building this wooden spiral type deal that goes down to my block spawner. Met some more food. I mean friends. Friends are what they are. And then on day 2, I started a farm so I can breed some more friends. Wink wink. Anyway, more and more cattle kept spawning, and before I knew it, I was overrun, and I was getting concerned as the numbers grew that they may overpower me, you see. So I did what anyone in my position would do, and I confined them to a 6x5 prison, or at least some of them. I don't have any wheat or carrots yet, so the cows and the pigs are still chilling with me. This chest has hearts coming out of it, so it must be really good. Never mind, it's apples. But now we're already on phase 2, the underground, and in this phase, I finally got some cobblestone, and I upgraded my tools and even started getting drip-fed some ores, like coal and iron. Also, a mushroom spawned, and these guys are like walking food dispensers. You can literally milk mushroom stew from them, which is kind of gross if you think about it for too long. With the iron that I mined, I made some shears and collected some wool to make a bed with, did some more mining and chopping, and then hit the sack. On day 3, I continued expanding my island, and then met my first set of enemies. Now, I don't want to be the guy who pulls apart a game that's literally made of blocks, but I don't think it makes much sense that they don't burn just because they're wearing hats. Their arms should be on fire at the very least. Anyways, got another chest, and then some rabbits spawned. Now, I don't know what it is about these guys, but they love jumping off and dying. I'm not even kidding. Like, watch this, you can't even make this up. He's running, and he's dead. This chest had a carrot in it, so I could finally get the pigs into the farm, but no cows. The wheat still hasn't grown. But the trees did, so I used the wood to do some more expanding and also made a small mob spawner. But it must have been too small, because only this spider spawned. I call him I'm joking. I don't call him anything, he's just a spider. He doesn't get a name. You're just spiders, you don't deserve names. Nah, but these guys are actually pretty chill. I let this one live. I went back to mining and more mobs were spawning, but they weren't a big deal, to be honest. I had enough space now where I could pretty easily defeat them. I even did a little 360 here, look. Look at this. Hey, look, more rabbits. I wonder what they're gonna do. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Yep, he's gone. Maybe it's because I told them that there were carrots down in the void. I really shouldn't be laughing at my own jokes. That's hilarious, though. I think we can all appreciate that's just funny. He's stuck. Some more zombies, spiders, and creepers spawned, but they were all dealt with. Then I made my mob spawner a bit bigger, lit the area up, and it was working pretty well. When I woke up, they were all burning away, but no bones dropped, so no wheat today either, I guess. Anyway, I got to the end of phase 2 and got a map, which was really cool. Spoiler alert, though. I soon lose this, because I can't be trusted with nice things. We're on phase 3, and it was about time that I built a sapling farm, so that's what I did. Is this done? That's done, right? That's fully grown. I expanded my farm a little, and yeah, that's got to be done now, right? I mean, that's done. Yeah. It wasn't. visible rage. When I woke up on day 6, it was to the burning smell of bones, and this time, they actually dropped some. After a slight disagreement with some creepers, I grabbed them and brought them back to use them as crop steroids, and got enough wheat to gather all of the animals into a pen. But I think I was too late, because I only have one sheep left. RIP to that sheep. He's with the rabbits now. I needed a house, so I decided I'd turn my old tree farm into my house, so I got to work building it, and then something really strange happened. This Enderman didn't fight back. He just sort of stood there and took it. I got an ender pearl though. I don't feel like I deserve it, but I got it. I finished off my house and planted one of these big trees because they give way more wood, and I'm all about that work smart, not hard life. The snow phase was pretty annoying, not gonna lie, since you're just digging snow for most of it, but I did get a man's best friend, so it's the best phase so far. Now we all know that children are the worst mob by far, but these guys come pretty close. I mean, come on, they give you slowness every time they hit you, and they hit me a lot, like an embarrassing amount. Day 8, my big fat tree grew and it was a beaut. I chopped it all down and named my chests. And with all of the iron I'd mined, I could just about afford an iron chest plate, and then this little guy spawned. He did steal my wood, so I did consider killing him for a second, but I decided against it. I made an iron pickaxe, 2 more foxes spawned, but these guys can jump, and he was looking at Charlie the chicken like he wanted to eat him, so I had to kill him. But I did feel bad about it. Like not that bad, but there was something there. And good job I did too, because he stole some of my gold. Another good boy spawned, and I finished the day with some body temperature stew. Body temperature stew. Day 9 rolled around, and I don't trust this guy. I don't trust him. I'm gonna let him live, okay, but I don't trust him. Oh, okay, well, never mind. Never mind then, that ends that. Listen, I'm not gonna interfere with the perfect balance of Mother Nature. That's completely out of my control. By this point, I had a pack of dogs, and I was going to need them, because my first monster party started. I had no idea what to expect, and so I ran for some help for my dogs. That was a bad idea. They died. Well, all but one, but for some reason he sat this one out. I don't blame him. That's true survival instinct, and I respect that. But from now on, I promised I'd never involve a dog in one of my battles again. They're my battles, and I'm not going to let anyone else do the dirty work for me, apart from this polar bear killing the foxes, because that's just really helpful, and also quite funny. Also, look how fast this guy is. He's like the Flash until he died. Day 10, and I already broke my promise. No, I'm joking. I don't know how he got out, but it's okay, he survived. We reached phase 4, which is an ocean phase. Apparently strange creatures lurk in the endless deep water, but I decided to hit these strange creatures into the void by making a conveniently placed hole. Now this may seem like cheating, but it barely ever works, and only on some mobs. So don't worry, you'll still get to see me go through a lot of pain, like a lot. I made a ladder entrance at the top of my house, and on day 11 I woke up with a polar bear and started work on a bigger farm, and continued right into day 12. Now one thing you need to know about my building is that I literally make stuff up as I go along. I have no plan of any sort, and I just start placing blocks, and it usually looks very bad at first, and then as I go along, it looks slightly less bad, and you'll see this a lot. On day 13, I started to build a lookout tower so that I can look out on my vast, endless land, you know? It's a strange looking tower, but it's my tower. Mine and Dave's. On day 14, I got my first turtle and realised he has nowhere to go other than this infinite water supply, so I thought I'd make a pool for him. So I got to work building it, and while I was mining for materials, I got my first diamond. Big moves. A squid spawned, and squids don't breathe oxygen, and so he was slowly dying, so I thought I'd put him out of his misery, but I ended up just giving him, well, an even more painful death. But my heart was in the right place, and that's the main thing, right? Oh, I kicked this guy off, he didn't even try. I caught one of these salmon and put him in a puddle. I carried on work on the pool and spent the rest of the day mining and saving fish. Day 15 and one of these guys spawned. I've forgotten what they're called, but well, it doesn't really matter, I guess. They kept spawning, but they also kept jumping off. So I just ran inside and waited until they yeeted themselves off my island. It was a pretty good system, to be honest. Remember what I said about working smart, not hard? In my first good chest, I got a trident, and I used it to hit this pufferfish for poisoning me, but then decided I'd save him instead. It was a quick change of heart, but then he poisoned me again. So now I'm definitely going to kill him. Carried on saving more fish, but not this guy. I think he was bigger than the others, but I don't know. I might be making that up, but either way, he gave me mining fatigue 3 for 5 minutes, and it felt like 5 hours. Not kidding, I was looking at fish for entertainment. I was back to mining on day 16, and some dolphins spawned. I didn't really know what to do here. Do I kill them? Do I save them? Anyway, I got distracted with this green thing and forgot all about it. Another monster party had started, and yeah, that happened, yeah. I paused the game to try and figure out a way of saving myself, even though I knew I couldn't, and I was just in complete denial about the whole thing, but finally I accepted death's cold embrace and lost everything. But when I respawned, all the mobs had gone. So that's something, I guess. Yeah, this guy didn't fight back either. So I just hit him. I just hit him with a pickaxe until he died. Day 17 was just horrible and rainy and mobs started spawning, so I thought I'd just sleep it off. Day 18 and I got my first music chest. Yeah! I'm not gonna use any of this stuff, but I did get some better gear in this chest. And then I completed the phase, and we're on to 5, the jungle dungeon. Ooh. I finished the pool, filled it with blocks, and then put water over the top and broke the blocks. Then I decorated it with some plants and put all the fishes in. I made some more area around the pool too so that turtles don't fall off, and then push them in. I also made a channel of dirt so that I can grow more grass if I need to. I did get given a grass block, but I don't know where that went. Day 20 I met some birdies and then some of these guys spawned. I forgot what they're called too. Fairies? Angry fairies? Fairies that need a day off? I'm not sure, but I started growing some sugarcane and then got a chest with some vines in it and planted them on my tower. And that is when I met Chonka the panda, my best friend. You may not think he's my best friend because I just hit him really hard with an axe, but that was only because I was confused for a second and I felt really bad after. So I pushed him in my house, where he can be nice and safe. Day 21 I was admiring my fish when I noticed one of them had tried to do a runner and suffocated on the hot wood planks. I don't know what happened here though. In all seriousness, it makes no sense. Then 2 witches spawned, and this is where the hole really shines. Witches stand no chance. If they had stats, it would be damage 10, speed 0. Also I got a ghast spawn egg, but I'm going to save that for when I'm bored. A horse, and another witch spawned, bye bye. Also 2 more parrots. I placed some more storage, made some more armor, and then on day 22 I started collecting wood to make my mob spawner. This took ages to make because I had to keep stopping to follow a YouTube tutorial, and also because I got trapped up here. I could hear about 900 mobs had spawned below me. But I had this wandering trader to keep me company. He didn't have anything that I wanted, apart from leads. So I had to kill them, I had to. Needed the leads. I used up all of my wood, so I was forced to escape. I jumped down dream style, broke both of my legs, and then went to bed. On day 25 I had some breakfast and oh, sheesh. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of mobs. I ended up spending most of the day hitting them off with snowballs, but eventually I did get back up there and finish it off, and it worked super well. On day 26 another monster party had started. I tried hitting them off, but it just didn't really work. Then I learned that using a bow was pretty good at taking down the fairies. That is when I can aim. I went to bed with Chonka, and on day 27 I was back to it, mining and hitting stuff and shooting stuff and trying to go to sleep and hitting more stuff. I realised on day 28 that dirt was a commodity. Like on Skyblock, wealth is measured by how much dirt you have. And apparently, I'm pretty broke. I started to realise this farm I was making wasn't very realistic right now. My dirt path had grown over, so I filled it back in with wood and spent the rest of the day farming XP. Day 29 to 31 I was building a better farm, not one that necessarily gives the animals more space, but one that separates them into their own pens. It looks really bad, I mean let's face it, but trust me, it doesn't end up looking that bad by the end. Because I only had 1 sheep I had to keep it safe, so I placed it way up high where nothing can touch it. Am I being kind or cruel here? I'm not sure. But probably cruel. Probably cruel knowing me. Now all the animals were in their own pens, it was looking pretty good. Wait, what? That's not a chicken! I started shooting it, but then I thought, you know what? If it wants to be a chicken, fine. I don't really want to waste arrows on a horse that wants to be a chicken. I'm not that guy. Be a chicken if you want. On day 32, I made my first diamond pickaxe and also got some bamboo for Chonka, so now I don't have to feel so bad about stabbing him. Look, he's so happy. He's so fat. Take more. I got even more bamboo and a diamond, and then we went on to the next phase. Red Desert. Ooh. I started on it right away and found a llama and a fox. I thought that he took my diamond, but he didn't. So he lives another day. Never mind, forget what I just said, he's gone. Day 33 I was XP grinding and now I've got a pretty decent amount of mob loot. No idea what I'm going to do with it, but I've got it. Then, Squidward spawned, I mean Ruth. Ruth spawned. And so I trapped her in a boat, and then trapped her in a box in the boat, so that she didn't die. Then I met this guy who must have missed the enemy training program because he was the nicest enemy I've ever met. I even felt bad about killing him, so I just sort of awkwardly pushed him off. Then a wandering trader spawned, and some donkeys, and I had mined enough iron to finish off my set of iron armor. On day 34 Eric spawned in, but he didn't have anything that I wanted, but luckily for him, my good side took over and I spared him. See, I told you they'd jump. More of these guys spawned, but this time they did fight, just with no weapons, so they were just sort of slapping me. I got a good chest with some emeralds, and then, yeah. I knew what had to be done, but it still didn't sit quite right. So again, I just sort of awkwardly hit him while he stared at me, no doubt very confused. My pool was now a watering hole for all of the animals to flock to, and it was glorious. It's that time again, so I tried my best to push as many of them off, but as usual, it didn't work. Not really. So I spent the rest of the day taking them out. I slapped this guy right in his big grey forehead. Day 35 and I was getting more emeralds, and then I met a guy called Terry, and I trapped him in with Ruth. I made a lectern and tried trading, but then I thought I'd make an iron farm instead, since that's going to be pretty useful if I keep falling off my island. So I got to breeding them, and on day 37 Terry and Ruth had a little baby, but it wasn't enough. I needed 5 villagers to make the iron golem spawn, so I kept feeding, and they kept breeding. I tried to get this donkey in a boat because I thought it'd be funny, but I don't think he can go in. Ruth the trader was here too, but I don't mind Ruth the trader. She can stay. Don't get me started on Eric though, man. He can get out of here. Sorry, Eric. It's just that you serve no comedic purpose here, so you're gonna have to die. Anyways, day 38, they were still breeding, and I went to work finishing off the rest of the spawner. A guy called Bob spawned in, along with some bad guys, and then I noticed there were 6 villagers in this box, and that's a problem. That would cost me a lot of iron, and so I tried punching the little guy, but he was asleep. So unfortunately, I was forced to kill Terry. Go back to sleep, Ruth. Shh, it's alright. I came back and Bob was in my bed. This bed isn't big enough for the 3 of us. When I woke up, there was finally an iron golem in there and it worked, and now I just need a lava bucket to kill him with. Now I know at some point there was a nether phase that gives you a lava bucket, so I went back to mining, and then boom, there it is. The nether phase. Some piglins spawned in and chased me, and then turned into zombie piglins for some reason. And now I was starting to get ancient debris and obsidian. More and more new enemies were spawning in, and these hogs turned into zombie hogs, which then killed my dog for no reason. They're like tanks too, like they eat arrows for breakfast. Some blazes spawned, but they weren't too much of a problem. I shot them with my bow. Then one of these guys, one of those guys, and one of these guys, he blew up my house a bit. Bob was not impressed. Some more blazers joined, and I'm going to give a word of advice here to anyone who wants to play this game. Don't make your island out of wood. It's not a good idea. The fire was burning under the slabs too, so I couldn't even get to it. Luckily, after about 5 minutes of panicking, I somehow put it out. For now. And yes, that was foreshadowing. On day 41, I patched it all back in and got to work mining. I felt bad about that. I probably shouldn't have done that. I just got way too many donkeys and horses and llamas on this island. It was bound to happen at some point. Another ghast spawned, but he died. I went to check on the turtles, and they were both in the boats. So I got in with one, but I was squishing him to death. But I was like, hang on a second. How come Ruth doesn't squish the turtle? Is she calling me fat? Are you calling me fat, Ruth? Anyway, this is the part of the video where things take a wild turn for the worst. You know in movies where there's that one scene where everything goes wrong and it seems that all hope is lost? Yeah, well that's this scene. So yeah, I got killed by the blazers and then respawned and hit my polar bear out of pure adrenaline. Sorry, bro. Anyway, I'm just gonna let this play out for you. I don't really want to talk about it, to be honest. Yeah, and you know what's the worst part? It's not losing half my stuff. It's not my house burning down. The worst part is that I lost a best friend. On day 42, I thought, you know what, I'm getting this lava if it kills me. And so the game was like, okay, we'll just kill you then. But I put out the fire, and I rebuilt out of a different wood. I don't know why I did that. I got back to work, all day I mined, until finally I got it. I placed the lava in, and on day 43, I woke up to a burning iron golem. Worked way better than I expected to. Anyway, this wasn't the end. I got in more fights. Also, this creeper randomly blew up my mob farm, and that was a big problem, because now I have a mob spawner birthing mobs onto my island, but luckily, they're all one hit away from death, so I fixed it pretty easily. I got another lava bucket, and did Bob just wake me up from my own bed? On day 45, I made a cobblestone generator with the lava, and then got a chest with a whole bunch of goodies, and finally, we were on to the next phase. This phase was so awesome, bees were spawning. I mean, they were flying right down to the void for some reason, but they were spawning. I went down to try and get them to follow me back up, but it didn't work. I did some more cobblestone mining. And then I remembered an old friend. Well, like he's not that old. He died about half an hour ago, but Bob, get out of my bed, I'm not in the mood. On day 47, I changed my island to cobblestone. I'm not going to change the whole thing to cobblestone, I don't have that kind of time, but I did realise that this farm wasn't going to happen. I just don't have enough dirt to finish it. So instead, I'm going to use half of it as a tree farm. So with the smell of melting iron in the air, that's what I did. Speaking of melting iron, thank you. On day 49, I started building my wall, and I watched a guy hanging his llamas from my spawner. I don't know what they did to deserve that, but I do know that it's none of my business. It's absolutely no. Oh, okay. Yep, he just dropped him. Anyways, days 49 to 52, I was making my wall, and I was completely making it up as I went along as usual, so it took ages. Then I spent days 53 to 54 trying to get jungle saplings so I could grow a big jungle tree on my wall. I thought it looked pretty cool, you know? Like it's growing out of part of the wall or whatever. Yeah, no, that's definitely cool. I wanted more, so I tried getting more saplings, and to put into perspective how hard it was to get these saplings, this is how much wood I chopped to get 16 saplings. I don't know why it was so hard. Also, there was a chicken in the mob spawner. I have no idea. I grew 2 more. I thought it looked pretty good. Day 57 to 62, I was building the second walled section, and while I was collecting materials and building all of this, the iron was being collected for me. Also, Bob finally moved out. Alright, Bob. So anyway, after lots of cobblestone mining, I probably should have helped that donkey, I'm not gonna lie. It was finally done on day 62. I made an area for my new, much better cobblestone generator, and this one works much better. You can't AFK in it, but you can't have it all, I guess. On day 63, I was breeding cows and killing cows, and is it just me who always forgets how you make these things? Literally every time. I started building my enchantment area, but I didn't have enough books yet, so I spent the rest of the day making an area to grow more sugarcane, and I'm not gonna lie, this place was starting to take shape. I should really fix that tower, but it seems more like a 200 days job to me though. Smash like. I waited for more sugarcane to grow and planted it, and on day 66 I was back to work on the other side. I'm just basically mirroring what I've already done. It took ages to do because I had to keep running back and forth to copy it exactly, but then on day 70 it was done. But of course now the pool isn't central. Day 71 I was collecting more iron, and now I'm pretty stacked. I finished my enchantment table and enchanted a new pickaxe, and I have like the best pickaxe enchantment luck, I swear. I don't know if it's just me, but I get this enchantment every time. Then I got fire aspect on a new diamond sword, and then enchanted a load of bows and combined them to make an unbreaking 3, power 3, and punch 2 bow. Day 72 and 73, I may have forgotten to press record, but it's okay, I was just fixing the pool and making it central. So now it's central, and I can't be bothered to move it, so it's staying there. I also got some golden apples from a chest. I went back to mining, and from 1 diamond ore I got 3 diamonds because of the fortune 3, so that's pretty sweet. I also tested out my new bow, and it kills stuff for sure. Then a zombie horse spawned. I didn't even know they were a thing. Got some more diamonds and some more bees. So I placed down a beehive that I got earlier, and they went in. That's why they're called creepers. Some evil bees spawned, and I got a turtle egg, so I placed it next to the turtles, and I never saw it again, so I don't know. Maybe I should have placed it on the sand. Another monster party started, but they were just evil bees, so you know, it was nice and easy. On day 76, I got a name tag and a saddle from the chest, so I put it on my skeleton horse. I haven't given him a name yet, so we'll just call him, skeleton horse. Upgrade time. Now we're on phase 9, and I collected a ton of lapis, so I thought I might as well enchant my iron armor. It's not the best, but with my XP farm, it's not like it's a big deal. Speaking of, another chicken spawned. I don't know how. On day 77, I stole some villagers from my iron farm to make a trading farm, which besides my island burning down was the most annoying thing so far. To get them from one side of the island to the other was an absolute nightmare. Placed all the beds but didn't have enough, so I went to shear some sheep, and then remembered that I have 1 sheep, and he's already sheared. He's just a cold, very bored sheep. I actually almost fell off then. So anyway, I got some more wool from some string that I had and carried on building. Apparently you can go through blocks if you're in a boat. Never knew that, but it was super helpful with getting them in. So then I went around placing torches so that zombies didn't spawn and attack my villagers, because, you know, we wouldn't want that happening now, would we? And then literally 10 seconds later, I look back, and what do I see? Bruh. So day 79, I pretty much had to repeat the process all over again, except first I had to breed more villagers, and this time I was dealing with children, and they were way worse. He just ran inside my house and stared at this horse. Anyway, I eventually got him in, and then realised that he's about 1 foot tall, and just walked straight under. But thankfully he wanted to go to bed, so once he was back in I sealed it all off. On day 80 I freed the turtles and got back to kidnapping baby villagers, which again was extremely annoying, and I was questioning if it was even worth it at this point, but eventually I did it. I got them in. Then I went through this weird fishing phase where I wanted to see if I could get any loot from fishing, if I enchanted a good rod, so I spent ages enchanting and combining, and eventually I had a decent rod, but I never got anything other than fish, so I guess it only works in oceans. But on day 82 the villagers had grown up, so I started force feeding them carrots and placed a load of boats around them to catch all of the babies. It's a super inefficient way of doing it, but I just needed villagers and I needed them fast. But for some reason, they weren't breeding. So I tried breaking the slabs above them and replaced them with blocks. And for some reason that seemed to work. All of my donkeys kept pushing the boats away though, so I had to drag them over to the other side of the island. But it was working. It was working for sure. We were catching babies left, right and centre now. That sounds wrong. I started building an area for trading and found this guy just staring at the wall, probably questioning his existence. Your existence is to sell me things, okay? On day 85, I made this mess a bit better by adding rails, and now it's the most expensive, inefficient villager farm. But it did work. The only annoying thing was that iron golems kept spawning in, and I was worried I might accidentally hit one of the villagers and get sent 50 feet in the air by one of them, so I had to keep killing them. Also, I accidentally hit Terry the trader while I was killing cows, and he's gone now. Anyway, on day 87, I went to check on my villager and he had mending on his first trade. I didn't even bother checking up until now. Like, there's no way he would have mending on his first trade. I don't know why I killed this guy. I can't remember. Anyway, I clicked him again and it just wasn't there anymore. Makes absolutely no sense. It just went, and now he sells bookshelves. I do know why I killed this guy though. It was out of rage. So anyway, I broke the lectern and placed it again until he gave me mending, but I found protection 4, and that's good enough for now. But I wanted it a bit cheaper, so I waited for a zombie to spawn, which did not take very long, and then trapped him in with the villager. And at first he was just interested in me, so I left him alone for the night, and when I returned in the morning, sure enough, he was a zombie. So now when I heal him, he'll be all thankful to me and give me better trade prices. So I went to make a splash potion of weakness, but I realized I don't have any nether wart. I did at some point, I remember, but I don't anymore. Or at least I couldn't find it anywhere, and I don't have enough obsidian for a portal, so I tried getting one from a cleric, but he wasn't trading me any potions. But he was buying rotten flesh, and I had a ton of that, so I made some emerald stonks. I didn't want the villager to despawn, so I gave him a name, and then I had an idea. I had a piglin spawn egg, so I could just trade with him until he gives me nether warts, right? Wrong. I don't know why this game hates me so much. I went back to mining, and on day 89 I got given a witch spawn egg, so I thought maybe she'll splash me with a weakness potion. So I spawned her up with my villager, and she only splashes with poison, so I had to kill her, and then I had to eat the golden apple. Fight montage. On day 91 I had some totems and I was finally on the last stage, the end. I needed a bigger storage area, so I enchanted an iron axe and started chopping down a lot of wood and building a staircase up above the farm to make a storage room, and I was pretty happy with it. It's still unfinished, like the rest of my island, and took way longer than I expected to collect all of the wood, but that's where 200 days comes in, so you know what to do. Smash like. On day 98 I had to rush through the end phase, and these guys would just spawn in random places, so it took ages to find him, but I got him. And pro tip, if you're in water, you don't float. Once the party started, but it wasn't actually as bad as I thought. It was just really, really annoying. And the Endermen still don't even fight back. But then in my ignorance, this box guy had provoked one of my bees to stinging him. And when bees sting, they die. R.I.P. Chunker the Panda and Buster the Bee. I just made that up once he died. He was never called Buster the Bee before his death. But anyways, the end is near, and it was time to fight a dragon, so I quickly enchanted some decent diamond armor with protection and fire protection and some other things, and got geared up and ready to leave. I said goodbye to Tuba, Chonka, and Buster, and placed all of the eyes and went in. I took out all of the end crystals, or at least I thought I did. I was here for ages hitting the dragon when it was quite blatantly obvious that she was still being healed. I mean it's right there. You can literally see it. So I finally woke up and shot it, and now I was doing some damage. Heck, I was even having fun. It's actually fun doing this when it's not in hardcore. Oh yeah, I also made a load of L's out of wood, so the last thing she sees is just a bunch of L's. Then as she landed, I made a big one right in front of her face. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna end her with my fist. So I walked up to her, and she just died. I don't even know. It don't even make any sense. I didn't even do anything. Loads of things don't make sense. I mean, look at these Endermen. They still don't even attack me. Look at this. Don't make any sense. Look at this. Nope. Look, this one. Denied. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I tried taking the egg, but when I clicked it, it completely vanished. I spent ages looking for it, but then I left and found it back at home, and I was like, oh great, here it is. And I clicked it again, and it vanished again. Never to be seen. I was looking for it everywhere. It's nowhere. Anyways, that's 100 days. If you enjoyed this video, smash like. I had a ton of fun making it, so if you want 200 days, let me know in the comments. And remember to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Welcome back to One Block Skyblock. In 100 days, we made a house, but it burnt down. We also made some lifelong friends, and they died. But we did defeat the Ender Dragon. And in this 100 days, our goals are to max out our armor, get some Elytra, and slay a Wither. And if you want to play some One Block Skyblock 2, I'll leave all the info below as to how you can play. But before we begin, since the last video, we gained over 150,000 subscribers. So you know what? Let's go for 500k this year. With your help, I know that we can do it. But without further ado, I survived 200 days in One Block Skyblock, and here's what happened. On day 101, I began by saying hi to Chonka, Buster, the villagers, and even Tuber, even though he's not feeling himself right now. Not his alive self, anyway. I went to say hi to all the fish, but I think most of them died somehow. I think they must have suffocated in this pocket of air. I don't know, but I definitely had more than 2 fish, right? I got up on my horse to show off my moves, and then fed the villagers some more carrots to fix the iron farm and make more golems spawn. And then fed the cows some more wheat, because all of these chests need an item frame on them, and that's a lot of dead cows. I went to bed, but as per usual, there's a villager in it, so I started hitting him, but he was immune until I found his weak spot, right in his big Squidward nose. Yeah, you don't like that, do you? When I woke up, there were some friends welcoming me back for another 100 days, and then I started placing down some item frames. This is going to take a while, isn't it? I got straight to mining to see what would happen now I've completed all the phases, and I think it's just an endless phase now. I pretended I was happy to see this pig, but really, I was just charging up my jump attack. After not too long, I had my first ancient debris and my first chest, and needless to say, the chests don't get better with time. They're still trash. I did the same thing with this cow, but in my eyes, it's just kindness, because at least their last thoughts were happy ones. Another monster party started, but it was all fine, until I started floating, and then realized what I had done. I swear, I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna have to change this. Anyway, I grabbed some shulker shells and made my first shulker box, so I used it to cram full of blocks I've mined. It's a pretty good process. For some reason I hit these donkeys and then instantly felt bad, so I fed them wheat. I don't know if that does anything for their health, but it makes a sound, so it must do something. Some iron golems spawned from the villagers and helped me out with my pest problem, and on day 103 I was back to mining and got a new polar bear, so I dragged him into my house where he will be safe. I mean, sure, the last polar bear wasn't safe in my house, and actually he died, but I'm sure that won't happen again. There's no way that my house is going to burn down again. A blaze will have to spawn first. Really? That's right, my iron boy smacked him while I put out the fire. Teamwork. Why are there so many things that shouldn't be in the farm? On day 104, I met this dude who constantly looks like he's on the edge of a nervous breakdown, so I thought I'd take him home. I thought I'd be nice. I made a portal and I dragged him over. This donkey wanted to leave too, because he knows that I randomly hit donkeys for no reason, but he's staying. You're staying. Anyway, bro didn't want to go in. He just stood there. So I went to go check it out myself, and that's when I learned that you can throw items through the portal. What? I didn't know that. Not kidding, look at this. See? There it is. I'm getting distracted. So I built some stairs and pushed him in, but that didn't work either, so I gave up on him entirely. Someone in the comments said that you could get dirt from composting, and he was a liar. He was a big liar. You just get bone meal, and that's like one of the few things that I have way too much of. Day 105, I went to the nether to try and find a nether fortress for some nether warts, because I needed to make a splash potion of weakness for Tuber so that I can heal him. Now, before you go down and comment about how you don't need nether warts to make a splash potion of weakness, I know, or at least I do now. I didn't then. This is very embarrassing for me, because I was looking for a very long time, like a really, really long time. I came across some natives, and they were saying something about, this is our land, go away, we just want to be left in peace or something. I don't know, I wasn't really listening, but anyway, they're gone now. And so was I. I turned back and I gave up. But then I realised that I may be able to trade some warts with the piglins, so now it's in my interest to be friends with them. I went back to get some gold, and when I returned, guess who decided to finally cooperate? That's right, it was time to let him out into the wilderness again, to be free with his kind, to roam the lava fields, and graze on an unhealthy amount of hydrogen sulfide, otherwise known as toxic volcanic gases. Anyways, once I returned to my piglin, he was gone. Visible rage. See, this is what happens when you try and be good. That's it, no more good deeds in this 100 days, only bad ones. I tried looking for some more piglins, but could only find a child, so I went back to get an ender pearl, pearled down, and started trading some nuggets with him. I figured gold would be too big for his little hands. But then I thought maybe I'm approaching this situation with little too much logic. It's a block game, and so I gave him a full gold bar, but he ran off with it. I think I just got hustled. Eventually I did find some more piglins, and even a thing that gave me an achievement. It also had some loot inside, but I considered that cheating. Damn my moral code. Day 108, I got back to the piglins to see what they had offered me, and it was a whole bunch of stuff, but no nether warts, so I threw it all away. Damn my moral code. Day 109, I was killing more cows and throwing away more nether items that I wanted to keep, and also placing more item frames. However, I realized I accidentally left my shulker box back there, so I had to make a very long journey to get it back. But on my way there, I actually found the fortress. So I killed my way inside, and on day 110, I found some warts that I don't need. Oh, it's just embarrassing to watch. I'm just going to remind you once again that this whole time I've been looking for warts to make a potion that doesn't require warts to make. I came across some loot, but I knew that I couldn't take it. I just wanted a peek. But now look at this, look at this. I just ran straight past that one. Now that is strength. I don't know about you, but it's killing me not knowing what was in that chest now. I got into a bit of a disagreement with the piglins. I said it's my land, they said it's theirs, same old story. And then I tested the nether enderman. They don't attack either. For some reason I thought I could make this jump. I have no idea why I thought I could make that, but luckily I saved it. When I got back, I started growing the warts, and on day 111, I started brewing. Yay! I started brewing potions of poison, not potions of weakness. Oh, it just gets worse. Oh, it's just getting hard to watch. Oh no, he just did it on himself, trying to close the fence gate. Oh. So anyway, unsurprisingly, the splash potion of poison didn't work to change the villager back, and after many attempts, and even letting him out, I still hadn't caught on to the fact that I'm doing it wrong. But on day 112, I finally did. I made the splash potion of weakness, splashed him, fed him, and then watched him. When he turned back, I was excited to buy my book on the cheap, but his trades reset. Yes, they reset. I couldn't believe it. I spent day 113 resetting his trades until he gave me protection 4. So I went and made some books, came back, and it had reset again. I can't... But on day 114, I finally got the mending trade and quickly bought something from him so that he'd be fixed to his trade, and got 8 mending books for 8 emeralds. That's right, 1 emerald each. To his face, I was like, yeah, no, that sounds about right. But really, I was thinking, is this legal? Am I stealing from this man? So anyway, I put mending on all of my armor and diamond tools, and spent the rest of day 114 grinding XP to repair it all, and by 115, it was all good as new. I found this guy at the bottom of the pond, and well, iron is pretty dense. It doesn't float. So, yeah, this is your life now. Also, where did all these new fish come from? On day 116, I made a disenchanter. I forgot what they're called, but I enchanted and disenchanted my new axe until I got a pretty decent one that I was happy with. I then used it to start construction on a new villager farm, but we're gonna call it a villager spa. That's right, it's where villagers can come and relax. And in between relaxing, I may or may not turn them into zombies for better trades and force them to breed. But on my island, this is the price you pay for a villager spa. I mean, it's better than their current deal anyway. But then I realized I placed all the slabs on the wrong level and had to take it all down again. But it was coming together. It was also being used as a mob farm, but it was coming together. Day 120, I was chopping down these big dark oak trees. I thought it would be a nice choice of wood, and for the first time, I used scaffolding. And I think I'm the only person, to my knowledge, that has ever used scaffolding in Minecraft. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I personally forgot it even existed. Day 121, I was continuing the build and starting the entrance to what will be the end portal room, but that's a 300 days job. Once I started placing the quartz blocks, I realized that the cobblestone had to be replaced with quartz also. It just didn't work. It wasn't giving off the villager spa vibe, so I started replacing it, but I had to run back to the nether to get some more quartz because I'd run out. And it was here that this ghast blew up my portal. It was not good times, it was bad times. But luckily with the fire from the ghast ball, I actually managed to get some wood on fire and get the portal lit again. I spent the rest of the day farming blocks I need. I mean, sure, technically it's not doing it legit, but for the sake of entertainment, I don't want to be mining for hours to get enough quartz for my island. So as long as you guys forgive me, I forgive myself. On day 125, I carried on with the floor and the lights, and this farm is becoming more chaotic every passing day. Then I made all the beds, placed them down in a satisfying shape, and then started to get my villagers over, who looked quite skeptical about the whole thing, but I reassured them that everything would be fine as long as they just ate carrots and nature will do the rest. Because that's how it works, right? Everyone knows that. Then I deconstructed the old farm and made sure the villagers were happy on their first night. That's the "what has my life become" face. Day 128, I carried on deconstructing and started on a staircase to go up to the new tree farm. That's right, I'm moving it again. And I'm also moving the graveyard because it's getting in the way of the villager spa entrance, so I found a better place for it. Day 129, I was still feeding them carrots, and I'm starting to grow like a small community down here. Now that the golems are patrolling the island, the only thing that actually poses a threat are creepers, since for some reason, golems don't have a problem with creepers. I went and asked how their stay was so far, and I don't speak villager or anything, but I'm pretty sure they're saying it's the single best thing that's ever happened to them in their lives, and they would love to eat more carrots and can't wait to trade more things to me for really acceptable prices. That's what you were saying, right? Right? The entrance was finally finished, and so I spent the rest of the day mining cobblestone into day 130. This is a taster of all of that amazing content that doesn't get shown. I then replaced the stairs with some stone brick instead to switch it up a bit, and then took my enchantment area down, along with the nether portal and the farm. And on day 131 I woke up next to a polar bear, fed the villagers, and now jokes aside, they actually do look pretty happy, right? Like for a block NPC with no facial expressions, they look pretty happy. Then I started work on a new farm. Days 132 and 33 were spent finishing it off and making bigger sections for each animal, and it was looking pretty good. So on day 134 I woke up next to a polar bear and spent the rest of the day moving all the animals out, and to give an idea of how ridiculous this old farm is, this is the chicken coop. Yes, this area with all the iron golems and horses in. And there was one chicken in the whole thing. I had to kill a couple of these guys because they weren't moving out of the area, and then on day 135 I replaced all the floor with stone, trapped this donkey down below, and placed down my enchantment table. On day 136 I fed all the farm animals and started breaking a load of gravel to get flint to make some fletching tables. Placed them all down, and the next day I brought Tuber down with the other villagers, but he didn't look too happy about it. Now that I had 5 million fletchers, I started work on the new tree farm that took much longer than expected to collect all of the cobblestone and then smelt it, but on day 140, it was done. I haven't built the walls yet, but I'm a man on a mission. I don't have time for building right now. I spent the rest of the day farming wood to make sticks to trade with the villagers. And the whole of day 141, I was just doing the same thing, just trading sticks, just straight up trading sticks. These guys love sticks. I'm not sure exactly what they do with them in prison though. I mean in Spa. It's not prison. Day 142, I decided to make more space. I covered the pond with glass, but don't worry, I checked if turtles can survive underwater in Minecraft, and they actually can. It was looking good. The next day I finished it, and then noticed my horse was under there. This is also his life now, because glass is way too expensive in Skyblock to be breaking and wasting, and he's just not worth it. He's just not. I did find the other chicken in the pond though. I placed a load of lectins and got sharpness 4 trade, so you know the deal. It's time to let a zombie at him. I made an area for the mobs to spawn and waited until nighttime. Also, can we appreciate that transition I just did? That was smooth. You gotta admit that was smooth. After not very long, mobs started spawning in thick and fast, and my plan was working perfectly. Apart from, in the process of attacking him, they also hit him off into the void. I probably should have seen that one coming. Day 144 I spent trying to get some good trades and didn't get any. But the next day I got another sharpness 4 trade, so I took him upstairs to be attacked by a zombie this time. But I guess I was too far away from his lectern, because when I got back, he was just a normal boy. I'm actually hopeless with this game. Day 146 I thought, you know what, stuff it. I'm just going to work on getting some cheap armor so that I can enchant a load of it and make a maxed out set. So I spent the whole day leveling up some villagers. Day 147 I was farming more emeralds. And day 148 I had my first bit of diamond armor from this guy, but I just couldn't understand why they were all just trading leggings, no matter how much I maxed them out. Ugh, can you tell this is my first time trading? It's even hard for me to watch back. If you don't understand what I'm doing wrong yet, just hold tight. Just hold tight, all will be revealed soon. Day 149 to 151 I had a break from trading with villagers and spent some time decorating my island with some bushes that I thought looked pretty cool. I try and keep building to a minimum for entertainment, but if you guys want a 300 days, I'm gonna go all out on building. The rest of the day I spent kidnapping this villager for a zombie. This guy escaped, so I pushed him into the end, because that's just what you get for escaping. Listen, I don't make the rules. Oh wait, yes I do. And that's a new rule. I trapped this guy in, and on day 152, a single zombie had spawned, which was perfect. I led him in to have some alone time with the villager, and went back to speak with the others. This guy was saying how his son heard screaming, and I was like, nah, what? What? Screaming? No, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy, relax. This is a spa, just relax. When I returned, it was done. I healed him up, and then he was cured. I'm trying to do a happy jump right now, but I'm just hitting my head. He's like, bruh, what have I woken up to? Anyway, I leveled him up and then realized that you can scroll down and he has more armor. Yeah, that's right. You know all those villagers that I maxed out? Like 6 villagers that I maxed out that only gave me diamond leggings? Yeah, well they didn't. I'm just an idiot who didn't think of scrolling down. You live and you learn, I guess. Anyway, now I had this dude giving me trades for super cheap, like 1 or 2 emeralds per item. So I bought a full set, and on day 153, I disenchanted all of it and kept enchanting until I got some good ones. And since it was so easy to get XP from my farm, I thought this was the best way to get my armor maxed out, and by the end of the day, I had protection 4, unbreaking 3, and mending on everything. Day 154, I did the same thing to this weaponsmith so that I can get some good weapon trades. I healed him up and then tried to go to bed, but then realised that he's actually just below my bedroom. Hey dude. So I went down to give him some moral support, and on day 155, I maxed him out, and firstly upgraded my axe to efficiency 5 by enchanting a new one and combining it with the one I already had. Day 156, I spent mining cobblestone because you can never have enough cobblestone, and on day 157 I was appreciating the sunrise. Also, if you want to use the shader I use, I'll leave a link in the description. I couldn't stand seeing this sheep shivering anymore, so I thought I'd give him some grass. He thought I was letting him free, but that was only temporary. When I got back from making some leads to drag him back up, all of the iron golems in the world suddenly had a fascination with this tiny enclosure. But once I pushed them out and dragged the sheep in, he started eating straight away. So he must have been hungry. So now he's not a cold, hungry and bored sheep. He's just a bored sheep. I spent the rest of the day and into 158 maxing out my diamond sword, and when I say maxed, I mean maxed. These cows stand no chance now. I mean, they didn't before, but now with my looting enchantment, I didn't have to kill so many to make the rest of my item frame, so it worked out pretty well for them too. Day 159, I smelted my ancient debris and made some netherite to put on my sword, and now I can actually say that it's maxed out. Day 160, I was back to mining, trying to find some more ancient debris, but instead, all I found was a ghast, a llama, and a doggy. I'm not sure what the llama did to these iron golems to deserve this, but it paid for it. The next day I was farming XP and I was getting so many good bows from the mobs now that I have looting 3 on my sword that I started combining them to make a pretty good bow. Then I sorted out all of the mob loot that I collected, and there's so much. This mob grinder is actually insane on Skyblock. Then I combined my new bow with my old one and made an Unbreaking 3, Power 5 and Punch 2 bow. Now all it needed was Flame, which I have, but it's expensive. So I thought of ways to get XP and disenchanted everything that I have, which was barely anything and was completely not worth it. I also tried smelting the armor I got from the mobs, which actually worked, but it just smelted it into golden nuggets, so it's not even worth my time. But after more disenchanting, I could finally get Flame on my bow. On day 163 I went to the end, and when I got there I found that villager that tried to escape, and also an endermite. I accidentally hit the villager off trying to hit him. My bad. For some reason with the shaders this place made me feel like a bit sick, like I could actually feel how thick the air was. It looked amazing, but like, amazingly disgusting. Anyway, I'm here for some elytra, so I towered up to the portal and went through, but I couldn't really see anything, so I had to turn the shaders off to find the tower. I left some landmarks to find my way back and set out to get me some wings so I don't lose all of the armor that I've just made if I fall off my island. It took ages to find the tower, but eventually I did, and once I broke in, uninvited and unwelcomed, I also found some pretty good loot. Apart from this chest. Anyway, I found the ship, killed the thing, took the loot, and got my wings. That kinda rhymes. Not really, but kinda. Also, I found that this is where you get the dragon head from. I've always wondered where you get the dragon head from, so I took it and flew off. That's right, I came prepared with rockets. And after a very long time of flying around, completely lost, my elytra had already worn down to its last bit of health. Like if I looked at it wrong right now, it might break. So I had to spend the rest of the journey looking on foot, but eventually I found my landmark and made it back. As soon as I got back, I tried enchanting my elytra, but it didn't work, so I went to get a mending book from Tuber, slapped it on there, healed that boy up, and took to the skies. Placed down my dragon head and then named my pick as usual. It's a very accurate name. On 167 I disenchanted all of that loot I got and enchanted 2 shovels. I had the best luck here because I got efficiency 4 enchantments right next to each other, and so I combined them to make an efficiency 5 shovel, and now all of my tools are maxed out. I spent a while just flying, to be honest. It's super fun. Then I got back to mining for some more ancient debris and found a piece pretty quickly, and also an Unbreaking 2 book and a mob head. I used the Unbreaking book on my elytra and placed the mob head next to the dragon. Day 168 and 69 I was still mining. I found another ancient debris and I was also fighting off some shulkers and pretty much everything else. I had a lot of help from my iron boys though. Day 170 I went back to the end because mining is a real hassle now. I have to keep running up to the chest to empty my inventory from all the random blocks and it's taken ages. So I thought I'd go back, collect some shulker boxes so I can transport all of the blocks to the sorting chests while I'm mining them. I warned them that I'm coming up because that's just fair game. Stole all of their stuff and kind of slaughtered them, I'm not going to lie here. I even took their banners. I told you, only bad deeds in this 100 days. I flew to the next one and did the same thing. And on the 3rd tower, it had another boat, so I got another pair of elytra and some more epic loot. I got back to the portal and forgot to turn my shaders back on before jumping in, and saw what my island looked like without them, and it's not good. It's really not good. Oh, that's better. I made a load of shulker boxes and then renamed them all into trash cans. I tried placing the end banners, but I guess they had a texture error or something, I don't know. Days 172 to 179 I was mining looking for ancient debris. I placed down all of my shulker boxes in a line, and whatever I mined, I put straight into the boxes. I'd fill one up, and then keep packing it full so it's not just one block taking an entire inventory space up, and then use them like a filtration system by just spamming the items until they fit, and if they didn't, they went into the next shulker box. Rinse and repeat. And it actually worked super well, I'm not gonna lie. I got mining fatigue many times, but then I remembered that you can just drink milk to lose it, which saved 5 minutes that feels like 5 hours of my life. My iron army was absolutely insane. Some of them started breaking, so I got iron to see if it could patch them up again, and sure enough, it actually worked. But what's really cool is that I don't even make these iron golems. I don't even have to spend iron making them. They just randomly spawn because of villagers, so I get constant supply of guards spawning in. They do get in the way quite a bit though. I got another mob head and a lingering potion of the turtle master. It didn't linger for that long, and I don't feel like the master of these turtles, but I do feel like the master of those iron boys. I just go AFK for a monster party now. I don't even bother, I just check my phone and wait till it's done. One of these guys escaped downstairs, and I thought he killed my precious villagers, but he didn't. He had a go at these though, but that's fine. They're expendable. We got into some more fights, recovered from some more fights, and then my favourite thing in 1 block Skyblock happened. A fox spawned. I just find it funny that the polar bears just have this natural prejudice against foxes for no reason, and will literally go out, what is happening here? Go out of their way to kill them. I finally found some more ancient debris, and then on day 177, I found some more, and another one of these guys, but I've already done my good deed. I don't know how many times I've replaced these blocks now. Is this bullying? Like, is this allowed, I mean? Here's an idea of how many monster parties I've been in just in this one play session of about an hour. I then named my sword, and then days 180 to 185 were spent sorting all of my chests, and even the chests inside my house, to get ready to rebuild the tower that's now looking like a 300 days job. Whoops. How do all of these things get in here? Who's Veronica? I finished up on day 185, and on 186 I smelted the ancient debris I'd mined for 1 ingot. 1. All of that for 1. Then I started work on a nether room for all things nether related, and then on day 188, well, yeah, I just stood there in shock for a bit. I should probably put some torches up there so that this doesn't happen again. It took the rest of the whole day to reorganize and fix everything. On day 89, not falling for that one again, I went to the nether and realised how much fun it is to fly around here. It's like a natural obstacle course. But anyway, I'm here for some wither skeleton skulls. And after a while, I got my first one, did some more fighting and got my second. I really wanted to hit this ghast with my sword for some reason. It was like he was asking me to. I just couldn't help myself. After a while, I realised that if you just fly away and come straight back, all the skeletons respawn. I also took this opportunity to fight with ghasts in mid-air, which is easily my new favourite thing to do in the game. So after lots of fighting and flying away, and looking like I'm having a stroke in my inventory, I realised the real reason why I was here was to fly. It's so much fun. I honestly spent more time flying around hitting ghasts than I did looking for skeleton heads. It's just so satisfying. Oh yeah, I also stole some blocks, but you didn't see anything, right? I might actually change my channel name to just Ghast Hunter and just make Ghast Hunting Coolest Moments compilations. Anyway, I finally got my last one and headed back. Also, I can actually fly down to the nether room from the chest room. Look at this. It was definitely my first attempt. So I spent the rest of the day finishing up the nether room, and on day 192, I remembered that all this time, the iron farm has been making me iron. I don't use it for anything, but maybe in 300 days, I make some epic battle with a load of iron golems. I made some armor stands and then started placing them around the island like they're guards or something, and it's a cool place to keep my armor. Then I made some custom big K banners, and they look pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty happy with them, so I made some more, and even put one on my shield. I got a big K shield, but I thought, hang on a second, if I use my 2 netherite ingots on a helmet and a chest plate, then use my shield, it will look like I've got full netherite armor for the thumbnail, when actually, I've only got half netherite. You've all been scammed by the big K himself. Day 195, I went on a little adventure to see if I could break the game mode by going really far away in the nether, and then making a portal. I thought maybe if I went far enough away, it would actually generate some new land that's actually the overworld, but it didn't. Sad times. On day 196, I started making the platform to fight the Wither on, and the next day I said goodbye to my men, in case I don't see them again. And Buster, and Chonka, and also this llama, I guess. I spawned him in, ready for war, and he instantly just started sinking. Yeah, I don't know, I kept shooting him. I even flew down to hit him. but he was just too close to the void, and I had to come back up. I started firing arrows, and I thought I was doing damage, but then realised it was just the void killing him. Bruh. So I quickly rushed back to the nether to get some more skulls. After lots and lots of skeletons, I got all 3 fairly quickly with my looting 3. And now can we all just take a minute to appreciate how satisfying this clip is? I mean, come on. Threw away all of my nether stuff, patched in the battleground, made it a bit bigger, and then on day 199 I used all of the blocks I won't use, like terracotta, to build a big battle arena where he can't escape. It's a very colourful battle arena. I farmed more blocks of wood, and then on day 200 it was done. That's a lot of mobs. I know I could just spawn him in the nether or the end or something, but I feel like I should at least try and defeat him in this world, or it's a bit pointless playing 1 block Skyblock. So on day 201 I came over to the death arena. Yeah, the death arena, that's what it's called now, because someone's gonna die, that's for sure. I made a base to spawn him on, placed all the blocks, and that's a 300 days job now. Listen, I didn't even plan for that cliffhanger, it just happened. But I can't help it, you're gonna have to stick around for another 100 days if you want to see who wins. I don't make the rules. But in all seriousness, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe even if you want to, and leave a comment. Let me know what you want in 300 days, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.